So this is like a cool thing. And then the only other thing I would say that I would want you to know is it definitely, it definitely makes sense to protect it, right? So if this were, I didn't want to like be stressed out while I'm sharing stuff. So I thought I'd trade with something really negligible. So I just threw $100 in. But if this were like $10,000 and I'm up, however much, what would that be? Like $140, or maybe it was more, and I'm up even more, right? Depending on the person's psychology of money. But whatever it is, if it's serious money and it's a serious trade, which most of the time we trade with serious money and they're serious trades, you've got two options. You can do one, which is just know where your entry is, which is 3497, and you could just do the stop. You go, okay, cool. Let's see, I like this one because I can just pick an arbitrary stop loss and I can confirm it. And then it's not quite in profit, it's actually a little bit below, but BYBIT lets you drag it. So all I have to do is just drag it up a little bit, and then it lets me drop it there. And then it lets me hover over it, and I go, okay, so my worst case is I make $4. And if this were bigger money, like even if it was just 10 times the money, right? $1,000 position at 10x leverage, I would actually already be at $170 ROI that fast. And my profit, even if I lose, would be $36, right? Because this would be magnified by 10 too. And so this is what I mean when I say if I could have it my way for what I would like for you to do, it would be set up a trade. It doesn't take too long. Get it into profit, just like we just did. And then before you leave for work to go, help people with their health and fitness, you just move it up. And now, you move it up to where in a worst case scenario, I'm going to make 4%. As you can see right there, it gives you the dollar figure in absolute value, and it also gives you the percentage. So now you can go to work and you can serve people, and you know that, hey, if I come home and I lost, I still made 4%.
Right.
So that's kind of cool.
Got
and
it.
so that's the number one, I think, in my opinion, for working people. Like even myself, I'm checking emails. I got some real estate stuff. I work on the digital investor IO stuff, but I love trading, and I can make money really quick and easy. And like I said, 140 or 1400 sometimes comes just as easily, just knowing this skill set. And so if I just want to protect it just like this, I can go, okay, now my worst case scenario is I walk away with 6%. And if I get lucky, it goes all the way to my take profit. Now I mentioned my take profit was going to be about 37. Let's make it 36.96. And so now I'm going to automate that before I go to work to serve people with their health. I'm going to take it up to 37, about 36.98, just in case people lose. And forget the numbers here. This is not impressive, but pretend it's just 56% of any number that you want, whatever you're comfortable with. And so having, the potential for a trade where now my worst case loss is over here, and I can see that the trade is there at 6%. And then my take profit, if I win, when I come home from work, if I win, I'm up 56%. I'm in a really good spot. So now you've got those two things, and again, they're based on the logic of this over here, right? It's based on this logic from Cardano. And honestly, these thinner yellow lines don't always hold for very long. And so you could even make this a take profit 1 and then make this a take profit 2, somewhere up here, 38.71. And so I'll show you that, because I think that's another important thing, right? So I could go here to take profit, and I could go to partial position, and then I could go, you know what? I'm going to take 50% off the table, not all of it, but I'm going to take 50, or maybe I'll even take 60% off the table, roughly, at what I say, 36, 98, right? Somewhere in there, that 57% ROI. So that's where I'm going to take about, trying to see if it tells me where the percentage is. I can't see it, but in either case, this is about 65%. So boom, confirm that. So now I've got that partial take profit up here. So it kind of replotted it, right? But you can see it. I'm gonna take my entire position, or I'm not gonna cancel that one. I'm just gonna show you another one. So then if I want to add the second take profit, all I do is go to add, and I forgot what it was, so I need to go look at it again. I look at it, I go, oh, that's right, it's way up here at 38.66. That second line, so 38.66. So the rest of it, which would be the remaining, which is a full 100% of the rest of it, kind of keep that in mind, is going to be taken at that 38.70 mark, right? So something like that, 38. This one is if we get that high, right? 38, somewhere in that range. And so that's where I'm going to take the rest of it. And so now I have two partial positions, which equal a whole, and all my money gets picked up at strategic places, you know, along the way. So that's that. And then if you happen to have time, if you want to, if you have, you know, lunch hour, anything you want, if you have it on your mobile phone, I don't ever trade from my mobile phone, but I will move up a stop loss from my mobile phone. I'll never move a stop loss down and give more of my money back, but I will definitely move them up. And so if you happen to see that price action is going way up there and you want to move it up and protect even more gains, you happen to check your phone at, you know, 1 in the afternoon, you can move it up. And now you're like, okay, now my worst case loss is actually a 7.4% gain. And that's great. So those are some things you can do. That's partial profit, that's stop loss, that's this part right here is just moving your stop loss into profit. I think all of those are great techniques and things to consider. We have a full take profit up here, which I'd have to get rid of that one. You don't want to have a full take profit. It's going to ruin your partial take profit plans. But you can see the staggered partial take profits up here. So those are all kind of in play. I'm going to move this down so you can see how that works. And I'm even going to get rid of my stop loss, just because I don't really care about the money so much in this example. I just want you to see it, if possible, bounce off of maybe the red. Normally, if they bounce, it bounces off the red temporarily, and then it falls further and it falls back toward those greens that I told you make for the most excellent entries. And if ever you think about rushing them, tell yourself what I always tell myself, which is I seem to always make time to watch my positions when they go significantly upside down. Like when that happens, I happen to have all the time in the world to watch my position. You know, I'm at a negative $130 or whatever. So if I have all that time when things go against me, then I definitely have time to just let this trade come to me at the most intelligent spot possible, where I don't even have to put myself through that, right? And so right now, this could be it. It could keep going, but this also could be, you know, potentially where it's at.